Cool. Your clinic's sweet. It is beautiful.
It's been a labor of love, and man, what a journey.
Yeah,
What a
yeah.
journey.
Well, let's talk about it. So let's welcome to Victory Health Radio and victoryhealth.tv. I'm your health coach and wellness physician, Dr. Jake Parrish, co-owner founder of Victory Health Center here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Today, I've got a really special episode. It's a healthy people episode that'll go both on the YouTube channel and on the podcast. It's Dr. Courtney Brandenburg from Connection Health Center in Charleston, South Carolina. I asked her to come on today to talk about chiropractic and the nervous system and how the body is made. I noticed that she just really connects with people. She really is able to communicate this well, and there's so many people that need to go to the chiropractor. There's so many people that want a different form of healthcare in their life, but they're really not sure where to go and what to do. And so I invited her on today to just to talk about it and see what we can get into. How are you doing today?
I am doing awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I love connecting with other aligned, driven, principled chiropractors. So I am so stoked to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot. So, where this to start out, where did you go to school?
I went to LACC, Los Angeles College of Chiropractic, and that's kind of under the umbrella of Southern California University of Health Sciences,
Okay.
which is the opposite of principled. So I was definitely the black sheep in that regard.
Are you from California?
I am not. I grew up in North Carolina, but when I was applying to chiropractic school, I had no idea there's a left and a right, if you will,
Yeah.
principled or not. I was just basically, well, I need to live in Southern California before I die, so why not go for grad school? And here we are.
Did you go to undergrad in Carolinas?
I went to University of Maryland. So my
Oh,
dad grew up in Maryland. I was a Terp for my whole life, so I was gung ho going to go there for that. And I've kind of been all around. But now I've got some roots, maybe not forever roots, but I got roots here in Charleston. I got a house and an office, so I'll be here for a little bit.
cool, cool. So, when we as chiropractors, and I wrote a couple notes, and let me find that real quick. I put that we live in a country that spends more money and we take more drugs, but we also have the highest rates of disease and sickness and death in the entire world. When we do get sick and we have problems, we end up going into a medical system that is actually the third leading cause of death in the United States. A lot of people don't know that. There's actually a book out there called Death by Medicine. And what it says is that it's about 1.1 million people die a year of it's called iatrogenesis. It means it's in the medical model. It's a medical errors. So you go into the hospital, they cut off the wrong leg, all of a sudden have a side effect, you die from it. You've been taking an aspirin for the last 20 years faithfully because your doctor told you to. You've got to thin your blood out. Your blood's too thick. You've been taking that aspirin, all of a sudden, somehow it gets stuck in your throat, it burns a hole in your throat, and then you die from the burn. It's a medical mistake. A lot of people don't realize that that's a leading cause of death in the United States. The other part is this, is that, and what lands a lot of people, Dr. Courtney, in my office, is that we have a desire to get healthy, but we really don't know how to get healthy. And I think that chiropractors, more than anything, that we're teachers and that we really teach people about their health. And so I was wondering if today that we could have a conversation about not just the art and the science of chiropractic, but kind of the philosophy of chiropractic and why we are doing what it is that we're doing. Does that sound cool to you?
Absolutely. You're speaking my language.
Good, good. So, what's the first step for learning? So patient comes into your office and they have no idea about the nervous system, and they're really like, they don't really know why they're at the chiropractor. They probably came in for a back pain because that's what they've been trained to do. They came in for tingling numbness in their hand or a headache. And then your job as a principled chiropractor is really to help them to understand a little bit deeper about why that is a problem. And that if that problem continues, then it's going to get worse in the future, of course. What is the first part of the communication of the nervous system or chiropractic that you share with people?
Absolutely. Well, I get somatic and I bring out a spine and I'm like, this is your spine, this is it from the side. And you have all these curves. What? I have all those curves. I'm like, yeah, this one in the neck, you probably don't have that one. Do you look at a cell phone all day or at a desk? Yes. And then I bring it back to them. I speak to them how important their spine, their nervous system is, and how, ergonomically speaking, posturally speaking, lifestyle, all the things that are doing is being detrimental to their spine, their nervous system, and their posture, and how important that neck curve is. That's the arc of life. It's called arc of life for a reason. That's how the brain communicates with the rest of the body. And that top bone is called your atlas, which is called the mouth of God. So when things have names like that, that shows how significant it is, which means we shouldn't, put it by the wayside. We need to hone in on that, because that's actually what life is all about, if you will. So I talk about the spine. I go through brain, spinal cord, nerves, organs, tissue, cells, glands. This is how it all functions. I talk about what subluxation is. Do you know what subluxation is? I've never heard of that word. Well, we go into that, bone out of place, pressure on nerve, interference.
Yeah. Let's back up a little bit. Yeah, let's back up a little bit. So what is a subluxation?
So I always say a subluxation is when the bones of your spine, the vertebrae, are out of alignment, aka misalignment. When this happens, it causes an interference from the communication from the brain to that certain part of the body. When this happens, it causes those things that we hate, symptoms. Symptoms suck, pain, indigestion, heartburn, whatever it is. So it's my job as a chiropractor to find that subluxation, give a specific adjustment so that your brain can communicate better with that part of the body. And in effect, your spine's in alignment. You're a healthier, happier, more optimally functioning human being.
Got you. So the brain sends the information down the spinal cord out to the organs for the heart to beat, the lungs to breathe, a cut to heal in your leg. The information from your brain has to get there, but some people it doesn't. And so what would cause my spine to go out of alignment, or what's called a subluxation?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So there's these things that we deal with. Some people call them the three T's, the three traumas, or three stressors. So there's three ways we become subluxated, three ways our nervous system, spine deal with said life and stressors. So there's physical stress, whether you're sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day, whether you're looking down at your phone for 8 hours a day, whether you're a pitcher throwing over and over, a golfer, whatever. These are all physical stressors to the body. And it doesn't have to be getting hit by a car. It's literally like, are you swinging a golf club, 3 days a week? That's physical stress. Repetitive motion equals physical stress. So physical stress, chemical stress, the air we breathe, the water we drink, alcohol, fried foods, household cleaning products, perfume, etc. And then emotional stress. Hello, 2020, 2021, life, relationships, running a business. I mean, I've seen more people. I feel like emotional stress does more damage to the nervous system and the spine than the other two do, especially in the past year and a half, 2 years with everything. It's incredible. So the three stressors, three T's, whatever you want to call them, I express them in both ways in my office, but those are the three ways that our spine and our nervous system take hits from the outside world, and which is why it's so important that we get adjusted, because we're all going to be around these no matter what. I practice what I preach, but there's no way I can stop these stressors from happening in my life, which is why I get my spine checked and adjusted multiple times a week.
That's good. Really good. So physical, chemical, emotional stress, or traumas, thoughts, and toxins is what we talk about. Yeah. I think that we're kind of raised in this medical system to think that when we go to the chiropractor, it was because we got in a car wreck, or we had a big trauma. But the repetitive trauma, the micro trauma is what we call it at Victory. We have macro traumas and micro traumas. Macro trauma, we all fell off a bicycle when we were 12. Now, it doesn't mean that we necessarily hurt, but we might have started with some digestive issues back then. We might have fell off that bicycle when we were 12. When we were 14, we started to develop some digestive issues. And that's because there's damage to those nerves that are feeding into that lower back, that are feeding to the guts. Emotional stress, Dr. Courtney, is a huge deal too. When you're emotionally stressed, your shoulders come up in your ear holes, your head comes forward. I'm about to get in a fight with this, whatever it is. Our heart starts to race. Our lungs start to breathe faster. Now we're starting to get into that sympathetic nervous system, and that does not allow your body to heal. And so chiropractic helps you to adapt back to that healing part, and ultimately, healing doesn't come from outside in, or healing comes from above down, inside out. And so your healing comes from your brain out, down through your body, inside and out as an expression, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. So, what about kids? You see kids in your clinic as well?
Yeah, I do. I see more adults, but I do definitely see some kids for sure. I
Why
mean,
why would a kid need a chiropractor?
do they have a spine? Do they have a nervous system? The earlier we can make an input into the system to get rid of those stressors,
Yep.
the better. I always tell my patients it's better to be proactive than reactive. And, the earlier, the better. The first subluxation in life usually occurs at the birthing process, as
Yep.
it's that twisting, pulling. It's not all rainbows and butterflies during birth whatsoever. There's a lot of stress on obviously mom, but more so even on the baby. And that top area of the spine is super, super crucial
Yep.
that to make sure it's moving properly and functioning. So
Yep.
many kids have earaches, allergies, they got torticollis, whatever. And it's usually because that atlas, that mouth of God, is not functioning right.
Yep.
Think about how many times kids fall down. How many times do they hit their head? Why
Yeah.
would they get checked and adjusted? It just makes sense. Well, take care of these things now rather than later in life. I always tell people, we're so resilient when we're young. We just fly into everything. We're playing football, baseball, and bouncing back. And now, when we're getting older into our 20s, 30s, 40s, you're
Yep.
decrepit and hurting because you didn't take care of those, injuries, those physical stressors way back when. So set your kids up for success, get them adjusted so that they're not old, decrepit, hurting adults.
That's right. And when we're adjusting a child, it's not like a high force adjustment. I've been doing a video series as well where I do it's a chiropractor reacts to chiropractic adjustments. Can you believe I would have never believed in my entire career that some of the most popular videos on YouTube and everywhere are chiropractic adjustment videos. It's
It's amazing.
beautiful.
It's
It's beautiful.
amazing.
So, with that being said, though, some of those adjustments that you hear, the cracking and the pulling and the Y
Yeah.
strapping, it's a little bit rough. But we don't do that with children, and we don't do that with older people either. So, if you're 85, 90 coming into the clinic, you're not going to get a forceful adjustment as if maybe that you're a younger person, and sometimes you don't even need a lot of force. It's not about force, is it?
Right. It's about connection and tension and, you know, putting the proper adjustment into the nervous system at the perfect time for that person. It's not a mechanical thing, as you know. We're speaking chiropractic here, but you know, your nervous system is a delicate thing, and we have to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't take much force. Like you can literally touch something so lightly and make such an impact.
Yeah.
Such an impact. Less is more, just like with anything in life. And that's what I always tell my patients, especially at the beginning
Yep.
when they first start getting adjusted. The first one, it's like one or two segments. We're
Yep.
not going to go all over the whole spine. We need to
Yep.
just less is more. See how everybody is able to adapt with that adjustment.
Yep. And you're not the one that's healing people. I think that in the medical model too is we think that um, we go to the doctor, he gives me a pill potion or lotion or a therapy even, and that cured my problem. And it's not true. It's that my body accepted whatever treatment that was, and my body did something with it. And whether it's a chiropractic adjustment or, in as a chiropractor, we're trying to help people not be dependent on drugs and medications because those things do have side effects, and there's a lot less side effects of going to the chiropractor. Do your muscles get sore? Sometimes they do. The other side effects of going to the chiropractor are better life, a happier demeanor. I had a lady. She literally felt so much better that this is recently. We posted it on our Instagram at Victory Health Center. She had been working this job for a long time. She started kind of getting sick during the time that she was having the job. Over the last month, her health has just elevated exponentially, and she actually got a raise in a better job from the place that is employing her. And it's so being healthy and feeling good, that's great. But this is about your potential. What can you get out of this life? And what man, you can explore the depths of who you are if your body is truly healing and functioning, and that spiritually you're healing and functioning as well.
Amen. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's obviously a somatic physical thing, but when you feel great and are connected on a nervous system level, everything starts to function better. You're happier, you're more in tune, you're clearer. And then that, as you and I know, it's like, it's a metaphysical thing. Sometimes I have people just burst
Totally.
into tears on the table, and then that brings tears to my eyes. You know, it's such a beautiful thing. And it's obviously, we want people to be out of pain, if you will. But as we know, as chiropractors, it's so much more than that. And it's beautiful when patients can get to that level to realize, holy cow, this has literally changed my life.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that just sealed the deal for it. Yeah.
So in chiropractic, we talk about that there's a system of it's a system of unrest is what begins, and we call it a state of dis-ease, not disease. It's the preamble to it. It's before you go to the doctor and you get the diagnosis. There's a level of symptoms and problems that are developing during that process. With your patients that come in, obviously chiropractic is a huge thing, but what are other recommendations that you give people that maybe they don't get it from the medical doctor or they don't get from just a general healthcare provider?
Absolutely. I always say movement. People are like, can I still work out? Absolutely. I want you to work out, and your workouts are going to get better. Don't stop working out whatsoever. I also really harness in on like nutrition and supplementation. I don't make that a must do for all of my patients, because not everybody wants to take their health to that level, and I'm not going to like shove it down their throat, but I make it a massive option for people, and I love talking about it and doing it, because let's be real, we don't get all the nutrients we need from the food that we buy at the grocery store or Whole Foods or at the farmer's market. Even if it's homegrown organic, you're still not getting it, because all the soil in America is totally depleted. And now that Bill Gates is buying all of it up, don't even start me on that. We're not getting all the nutrients we need. So, and also I'm a vegetarian. I'm not getting all the nutrients I need from vegetables. So I take supplementation that has, organ meats in it, which whatever, but we don't get everything we need to be healthy, functioning human beings. So I'm huge on supplementation, nutrition, also movement, being mindful. It all starts with chiropractic first, and then kind of going down from that, just based on, the level of interest and where my patients want to take their health to what level. I'm there as a resource and as a guide, and I love doing it.
What's the level of we've been in Corona, and we've been in COVID, and now we're fighting against the jab, and this is it's a funny conversation, and we don't have to go too deep into it, but what are people's attitudes where you're from as far as getting out of the lockdowns? Are people just sick and tired of it? Are they starting to realize that it's more a political thing than it is a health thing now? Are we starting to come to that conclusion?
That's what I'm seeing. Everybody's so over it. I mean, downtown Charleston, it's wild. It is mayhem down there, which is a beautiful thing to see. It's everybody wanting to be out doing things. You literally can't get a reservation at a restaurant, and everywhere is max capacity now, which is also amazing. So people are totally, totally over it. And, I was actually just in Colombia, South America, and people are still down there wearing masks, like freaking out about it. It was such a different shift for me, because I can't tell you the last time I put a mask on, besides being on an airplane, people walking down the street and stuff. And I just wasn't used to that. But here in Charleston, everybody's super over it. There are not that many places whatsoever that make you wear a mask, because it's not a mandate anymore. And I haven't seen people wear a mask in my office at all. Good. So bless you. Yeah, no way.
I think that we have to be defenders of that. We also got to realize that there's never been a cure in a pill, potion, or lotion. There's never been one ever. And in fact, I just had an opportunity to interview the Wild Doc, Dr. Dale Brown. He does a lot of research on vaccine and all kinds of research. But the truth is, and a lot of people don't know this, but there's a lot of harm that's done with medications, and especially vaccines. And taking care of your nervous system actually helps your immune system function better. There's a lot of studies out there that a thoracic adjustment, so a mid-back adjustment, increases macrophages, it increases T cells, and just really is like an immune system booster. When people were getting adjusted, and they've done studies in this in the 1918 flu pandemic, that when people went to the chiropractor and took care of their nervous system, they actually had a better survivability rate if they did get the flu, or they just simply didn't get the flu. And so going to the chiropractor, eating healthy foods, keeping chemicals out of your body is gigantic.
Massive.
Yep. So you had, I'm gonna do, and I don't know if you've ever watched one of these episodes, but I'm gonna go scroll through your Instagram real quick,
Oh boy, drum roll.
and then I'm going to surprise you. I won't pick anything hard, but I do. One of the things that makes me do these interviews is the Instagram pages, because there's something that I found that resonated with my soul. And I said, you know what? I need to talk to Dr. Courtney. And I was really, I'm just super excited. And I'm really super excited for other people to hear you communicate what you communicate. Here's what you said. And it was actually it's a repost that you had, but I thought it was really significant. It says, energy is neither created nor destroyed. The adjustment releases previously bound energy as potential for life.
Was that a Dr. Mo?
That was, yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
I love her stuff.
Yeah, that was really good.
She does great things for humanity and the profession. And I just resonate with so much of the stuff she posts, especially that. I mean, we are energy. That's literally what we are and what chiropractic is. You know, okay. We're a bunch of coiled up potential, and chiropractic just releases that and helps us just navigate health and life and all the things. It all comes down to energy, you know, and vibration. What vibration are you putting out?
Totally. And I really believe that this is the future of healing. Is mindfulness has been on the front page for a couple years now. We keep on hearing this word self-care, and just taking care of yourself. It's not selfish to do self-care. It's the right thing to do. Actually, if you take care of yourself, then you can serve more people.
100%.
Now we're into, and I love it because I actually posted something about this the other day, is that one neuron, we have 100 billion neurons in our brain. One neuron produces the action potential that would cause 4 thunderstorms, but it's wrapped up in this fatty layer inside of our brain. And so we've got 100 billion neurons producing 400 billion thunderstorms all of the time.
All the time.
We truly are energy. The next thing is that we are vibration, and that we have like when people say like good vibes and bad vibes, that's kind of a thing that's been popular lately too, like good, bad. But I think what we're getting at subconsciously is that there's a reality to it. We are vibration. That's where our cerebellum does. That thing rings at different tones depending on what we need to be doing and how healing's happening in our system. Our brain sends electricity down our spinal cord at 20 watts at over 340 miles per hour, and it can light a 20-watt light bulb. It's power. We're power inside of us, and we're energy inside of us. And so how do you increase this? And we're almost done, but how do you increase that flow in your own personal life? Like, do you just avoid a bunch of negative people? I know you don't walk around with blinders on, but there's a certain level of avoidance, I'm sure. But how do you keep your energy up? How do you keep your vibration up?
There's a certain level of avoidance and a lot of awareness, and being able to navigate this thing called life and all this craziness going on. I mean, my circle's gotten a lot smaller since all the pandemic mess. If I don't align with somebody, hey, friendships don't have to be forever. We can be acquaintances, but I want to be around people that believe in the same things that I do, are on the same mission, that want to try to level up. So surrounding myself with those people, making sure I'm getting adjusted 1 to 2 times a week at least.
Yep.
At least, my adjustments are crap if I'm not well adjusted. I feel like not 100% Courtney if I'm not getting adjusted. Also getting muscle work done, other body work, meditating, reading, writing in my journal, having a gratitude list every day, making sure I get enough sleep. That's been so crucial for me since, I guess, starting a business is like, my sleep is necessary, especially when I'm showing up for my patients. Like,
Yep.
I want to be there. It's power on time, baby. We're lighting people up and I have to be on it. Also, having bulletproof coffee in the morning is ideal.
Yeah.
Working out, I have to get movement in every day. And I like to do that before work just so it gets my day going. You know, rarely do I work out after work because I just want to go home, eat, go to sleep and have my time. But yeah, movement is super crucial. Also, being able to disconnect from work and have my own personal life. That's so crucial. Traveling gives my soul so much joy. I just was gone for 10 days and I'm like, I needed that so much. As much as I love my people and my practice and my home and everything, it was so nice to just get away and, you know, not think about, obviously I was thinking about it, but not being there. So yeah, just making sure that my heart and soul are filled with the things that bring it joy. That's how I keep my vibration and energy up.
You have to work when you're working hard, you have to do an equal amount of playing hard. And we don't just work. We don't want to work for the rest of our life and just grind ourselves and not enjoy the life that we're actually living too.
Heck no. What's the point? You know, we have one of these lives, so you roll with it. Do what makes you happy. You know, if something's not bringing you joy, why do it? If a person in your life's not bringing you joy, see you later. You know,
that's good.
Life's too short.
It's a hard thing. You know, there's more people that are afraid that people won't like them, that are afraid to die. Like there's more people living on the planet today that are more concerned about a follow or an unfollow, or worried about that one person that is always going to not like us. Like that one person there's always going to be a turd. They're never going to be good for our life. And love
them out the door.
Yeah, love them out the door. Absolutely. But sometimes we'll turn our back on those 99 people to feel acceptance from this one person. And so encouragement for people from Dr. Courtney out there is, hey, let those go. Say no to people. That's okay too.
Yeah, it is okay to say no, especially in this day and age. You know, you have to protect your soul and your happiness and what brings you joy. And if it's one person, see you later. Love them out the door, whether it's a patient, a friend, a family member, love them out the door.
Thanks for hanging out with me today. You're really a cool, awesome person. Hopefully in a couple weeks or a couple months, we can do this again and we'll just talk about principle, remind people that there's a power inside of us. Power is on. Thank you so much for having me. This was amazing. I loved it. Yep. Thanks a lot. So once again, you've been listening to Victory Health Radio, watching victoryhealth.tv with Dr. Jake from Victory Health Center and Dr. Courtney from Connection Health Center in Charleston, South Carolina. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We love you so much. Bye. Okay. I'm really good.
When you help somebody get their life back.
Telling me what I have to do with my body? No.
That's the biggest question I start with people is, what do you want?
Turns on those genes. When you get down to it, there's a lot of emotional issues.
The more you get into the word, the more the word gets into you.
Symptoms are meant to be listened to, not to be suppressed.